Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य शुद्ध शिष्यमदे भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर जय विविटी फाउंडर श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य शुद्ध शिष्यमद भक्ति सिद्धांत संस्थापक श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से गौ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोविनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मायपुर नवद्वीप धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मई की यमुना मई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी संबित गौर भक्त वृंद की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज हरे कृष्ण ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज हरे कृष्ण ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। What happened to the devotee from Nagpur? He went back or what? Huh? Yesterday was not there, no? Okay, some points from yesterday.
Mother Dehuti desired children, so therefore, and even in spite of having a spiritually advanced husband, she still desired material desires.
Hmm. Okay, so she was lamenting. Okay, what else?
You were discussing about how a person who is determined and is taken shelter of Lord, for him there is nothing impossible.
Hmm.
About how this magic which Kardam Muni did, but we saw in Prabhupada's times also, so many magic happened. Discussing that.
Right.
Brahma is appreciating Kardam Muni for following whatever his orders sincerely. So in
Right.
that, tell about Prabhupada also. Prabhupada, how he telling, my words, I may not be perfect, but it is coming from perfect source.
Right. Online thing?
We discussed one of the purport Prabhuji where Krishna can come in any form via nose, via semen. He cannot be decided it. He cannot be have a rule revelation how he want to come. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna is not clear.
He read in one of the purport that Krishna can come in any form via pillar, via nose. He can take the shelter of the semen.
Right. The Lord can come by any means. He is not bound to come by any particular means. Right.
And Prithvi, you shared various histories in ISKCON. You told about magic, so many instances. Either it is Radha Landanishwar pastime, or later on this our Srikriti proves what he shared. So he shared, I think, 5-6 pastimes. That was very, very heart touching and inspiring.
Right. Okay, thank you. So we saw,
Guruji, I had just one point to discuss. Like Kardam did such a heavy tapasya, since still no demigod didn't disturb his tapasya, and we were discussing in one of the Parjanne Priyadas Prabhuji.
Acha, you're there?
Parjan, yes, Prabhuji, some important thing. So I had just when we were reading that section, that they went to all places all across the universe, even demigods could not do. He could do. So I was just wondering, still, when he was doing tapasya, demigod didn't disturb his tapasya. So what I could conclude it that they knew that he want to get married. That's why they didn't considered him as his rival.
Maybe, I don't know. We didn't read
I am
it.
just also.
We didn't read anything like that, no?
He already had to plan to marry all those things. That's why demigod, because he was better than demigods, as we can see that he could grow more over the universe, create a mansion.
Because he was devotee as well as yogi.
Hanji.
That's why.
Thank you, Brother. Devotee. Okay, brother.
Okay, fine. So Brahma appreciated Kardamuni, and then he also told him that now Lord Kapila will take birth, and what all he will do. He described his form, and then he will spread this knowledge by which one can give up the deep-rooted desires for work. Okay, so now Lord Brahma speaks to Devavati. Text 18, chapter 24, text 18. एष मानवी ते गर्भं प्रविष्ट कैटभार्धनः अविद्या संशय ग्रन्थिं चित्वा गां विचरिष्यति.
Lord Brahma then told Devahuti, my dear daughter of Manu, the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who killed the demon Kaitaba is now within your womb. He will cut off all the knots of your ignorance and doubt. Then he will travel all over the world.
Okay, so now he's telling Devati that the child within your womb is Kaitaba Ardhana. Kaitava, or the killer of the demon, Kaitava. And what will he do? Avidya samshaya grantim chitva. So he'll cut off your knots of ignorance and doubts, and then gam vicharishyati. Then he will travel all over the world. So Prabhupada writes about avidya. Avidya means forgetfulness of one's identity. Every one of us is spirit soul, but we have forgotten. We think I'm this body. This is called avidya. Samshaya granti means doubtfulness. The knot of doubtfulness is tied when the soul identifies with the material world. That knot is also called ahankar, the junction of matter and spirit. By proper knowledge received from the scriptures in disciplic succession, and by proper application of knowledge, one can free himself from this binding combination of matter and spirit. So, two things. What? Getting the proper knowledge, is that sufficient? No, it is not sufficient. After that, yes, one has to apply. Then one will get realization. Then only it is possible to become free from ahankar. So, I think so you studied this before, right? These 5 causes of klesha. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesh, abhinivesh. You studied, no? Okay, so avidya is ignorance, not understanding who I am. Then asmita is? Yes, asmita is false ego, false identity, thinking oneself to be the body. Then raga is attachment, dvesh, hatred, and abhinivesh,
Clinging to the material body.
what's that?
Clinging to the material body. Clinging.
Abhinivesh basically means absorption. Absorption in material things. Raga is attachment to material things, and abhinivesh is absorption in the body, in material things. And that will also lead to fear of death because one is attached to the body. So, Lord Brahma is saying that Lord Kapila will give knowledge, and then all this will be destroyed. 19. Ayam siddha ganadisha sankhya susammattah loke kapila iti akhyam ganta te kirti vardhanaha.
Your son will be the head of all the perfected souls. He will be approved by the acharyas, expert in disseminating real knowledge. And among the people, he will be celebrated by the name Kapila as the son of Devahuti. He will increase your fame.
So, he will be Siddha Gana, Adisha, the head of all the perfected sages. And he will give the Sankhya philosophy, and he'll be approved, Susammata. And he will make you also famous. So Prabhupada distinguishes Sankhya philosophy of this Kapila and the atheistic Kapila. So these are 2 verses which Lord Brahma spoke to Devahuti. So basically he told her that the child within the womb is Lord Kapila, and then he will spread this knowledge by which the avidya and samshaya, everything will be destroyed. Okay, 20. Maitreya uvacha tavashvasya jagat srashta kumare sahanarada hamso hamsena yanena tridhama paramam yayo.
Sri Maitreya said, after thus speaking to Karda Muni and his wife Devahuti, Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, who is also known as Hamsa, went back to the highest of the 3 planetary systems on his swan carrier with the 4 Kumaras and Narada.
Okay, so in this way he spoke to Kardamuni and Devahuti, and then went back on his Hamsa Yana. And Brahma is also called Hamsa. Hamso Hamsena Yanena. So Brahma is also called Hamsa. Why? Prabhupada writes, because he can grasp the essence of everything, just like Hamsa. What does the Hamsa do? Yes, takes the essence. In a combination of milk and water, he takes the milk. So similarly, Brahma is also called Hamsa because he can grasp the essence of everything. His abode is called Tridama Paramam. And then Prabhupada explains why only Narada and Kumaras went along with Brahma, because the other sages remained to get married with the 9 daughters of Kardama. So the other sages also had come along with Brahma, like Atri, Pulastya and all those. So they remained to get married, but Narada and the 4 Kumaras, they are Naishtik Brahmachari, so they went back.
And Swambhu and Satrupa, they are from Brahma. They are from meditation of Brahma they came. So Devahuti is their daughter. So Kardamba, how he could marry, that's the question. Kardamba is from Brahma, and Swambhu and Satrupa, they were from Brahma. So they are like brothers, no? Kardamba and Swambhu. Then Devahuti is the daughter of Swambhu Manu. And how he could marry Kardamba, that was my question. And the 9 rishis which came, so they all also came from Brahma, Marichi, Atri and everything. So, because in context I'm asking, because when Arjuna was approached by
I understood your point. So, now this is Brahma's creation. So here Brahma has specifically created these people as Prajapatis to increase the population. So they have that specific service. So for Brahma, all these rules don't apply. For ordinary conditioned souls like us, then all these rules apply. But for him, what to do? No one else is there at that time. Then how the progeny will take place? Huh? Yeah? I don't know. So anyway, here Prabhupada also makes the point that the Kumaras and Narada, they were not to attend the marriage ceremony of their brothers. So brahmacharis are not supposed to attend marriage ceremonies. Okay, continue.
O Vidura, after the departure of Brahma, Kardama Muni, having been ordered by Brahma, handed over his 9 daughters as instructed to the 9 great sages who created the population of the world. Kardama Muni handed over his daughters Kala to Marichi and another daughter Ansuya to Atri. He delivered Shraddha to Angira and Havirbhu to Pulastya. He delivered Gati to Pulaha, the chaste Kriya to Kratu, Khyati to Bhrigu, and Arundhati to Vaishishta. He delivered Shanti to Atharva, because Shanti, sacrificial ceremonies are well performed. Because of Shanti, sacrificial ceremonies are well performed. Thus he got the foremost Brahmanas married, and he maintained them along with their wives. Thus married, the sages took leave of Kardama and departed full of joy, each for his own hermitage, O Vidura.
Pass the mic. Where is your friend today? Your friend didn't come? He is from where? This, acha. Avadut Chandra Prabhu? No. Huh?
He's in Davangere.
Acha. Who's that? Oh, that. Acha.
When Kardama Muni understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief of all the demigods, Vishnu, had descended, Kardama approached him in a secluded place offered obeisances, and spoke as follows.
Okay, so now Kardamuni approached Lord Kapila. Srila Prabhupada talks about how Lord Vishnu is Triyugi and he appears as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age. Okay, go ahead. Okay, let's recite. Text 27. Aho papachamananam niraye svairamangalai kalena bhuyasa nunam prasidantiha devataha.
Kardama Muni said, "Oh, after a long time, the demigods of this universe have become pleased with the suffering souls who are in the mental entanglement because of their own misdeeds."
So why the demigods have become pleased? Because the Lord has appeared. So therefore the demigods are pleased. Prabhupada writes, the sufferings are not extraneously imposed upon the jivas, rather the conditioned souls create their own suffering by their own acts. Okay. Ultimately, all suffering is due to one's own karma, just like the forest fire. So when there's too much heat from the forest fire of this material world, the demigods, including Brahma himself being harassed, approach the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and appeal to him to alleviate the condition. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends. So this is always the case, right? So just like Krishna also descends for the same reason. That time also Brahma along with all the devatas go, along with Mother Earth. So similarly, in the case of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, that time also the devatas, they go to Brahma. So every time it is the same case. So whenever the devatas are harassed, they're in trouble, then they approach the Supreme Lord, and then the Supreme Lord descends. So when the Lord descends, all the demigods become enlivened. 28. Bahujanma vipakvena samyag yoga samadhina drashtum yatante yataya shunyagareshu yatpadam.
After many births, mature yogis with complete trance in yoga endeavor in secluded places to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, let's read Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary to the previous verse. So he says, your appearance in my house without motive is because of your mercy only. I do not have any qualities that caused it. This is expressed in 3 verses. There are 3 types of persons seen in the world: worshippers of devatas, worshippers of Brahman, and worshippers of the Supreme Lord Bhagavan. Where is this mentioned in the Gita? These 3 types of worshippers.
One who worships the demigods goes to demigods. One who worships the...
Okay, that is Yantideva Vrata Devan. But more precisely, there of course he's talking about Bhutani Yanti. But more precisely, these 3 types of worshippers. In fact, we were hearing Prabhupada's lecture here yesterday. There Prabhupada talks right in the beginning. So this comes in the 9th chapter, 15th verse. So in the 13th and the 14th verses, Krishna speaks about 9th chapter, 13th verse, famous verse. Gita bhul gaye, huh? 9th chapter, 13th verse, famous verse.
What type of people who surrender unto me?
Arey, wo 7th hai, Baba.
Sorry.
Matmanastamam partha devim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananyamasu. And 14th verse also is talking about symptoms of the activities of the Mahatma. Satadam kirtayantamam yatantasya dridhavrata. So then in the 15th verse he talks about Anye, other types of worshippers who indirectly worship the Supreme Lord. Ekatvena, pritatvena, bahuda, vishvato mukam. So these are 3 types. So Ekatvena are the monists who are worshippers of the Brahman. And then pritatvena, bahuda refers to devatas. And vishvato mukam is universal form. So here also he's talking about those three types of people. So worship of devatas produces material results. They are pleased after a long time within the worshipper's lifetime, but not immediately to the living entities burning in the hell of material existence. Then they give the desired results. Okay, fine. Okay, so in the 28th verse, so Kardamuni is talking about the yogis who after many births, by contemplating on the Supreme Lord, by complete trance, endeavor to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he says this refers to the second type of persons, so which is described in the previous verse, the worshippers of the Brahman. So worshippers of Devatas, worshippers of Brahman, and worshippers of the Supreme Lord. So in this verse he is referring to the worshippers of the Brahman, the yogis. Prabhupada writes, Samyak Yoga Samadhina means by complete practice of the yoga system. Complete practice of yoga means Bhakti Yoga. Unless one comes to the point of Bhakti Yoga or surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's yoga practice is not complete. But that will take many births. Bahunam Janmanamante. So the yoga ladder. So success is when one reaches the top of the ladder. If one gets stuck up in between, then he remains karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyana yogi. But perfection is when one reaches to bhakti yoga. And Prabhupada also says one has to perform yoga long time, many births to become mature. Yogi has to practice in secular place. So one cannot practice yoga in a city or in a public park and declare that has become God simply by some exchange of dollars. Bogus propaganda. Okay, 29. Sa eva bhagavanadya helanam na ganayah griheshu jato gramyanam yasvanam pakshaposhanaha.
Not considering the negligence of ordinary householders like us, that very same Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in our homes just to support his devotees.
So here is referring to the worshippers of the Supreme Lord, the devotees. So here he is saying that, as Vishwanath Chakravarti says, we are very lazy among the third type of persons. However, his mercy is unlimited. The Lord does not consider negligence, treating him lightly. That is your very nature. You elevate even a shadow devotee to a high position. You support those who are devotees, considering them your relatives. Paksha Poshana. Paksha. Paksha means party. So which party he supports? Devotees party. So he's saying you support the devotees, therefore you have appeared in our house. Though we are not very great devotees, we are lazy householders, but still you support the devotees, therefore you have agreed to take birth in our house as one of the members of his household, as his son. Prabhupada writes, devotional service is such a powerful transcendental method that it surpasses all other methods of transcendental realization. The Lord says, therefore, that he lives neither in Vaikuntha nor in the heart of a yogi, but he lives where his pure devotees are always chanting and glorifying him. Supreme Personality of God is known as Bhakta Vatsal. He is not known as Jnani Vatsal or Yogi Vatsal. So what is the verse? This verse. Naham tishtami Vaikunte Yoginam Hridayeshu va Yatra Gayanti Bhakta Tatra Tishtami. So wherever the devotees are chanting and hearing the Lord's glories, the Lord is present over there. Why? Because he is Bhakta Vatsal, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati. Okay, 30. Swayam vakyam ritam kartum avatirno sime grihe chikirshur bhagavan jnanam bhaktanam manavardhanaha.
Kardamamuni said, "You, my dear Lord, who are always increasing the honor of your devotee, have descended in my home just to fulfill your word and disseminate the process of real knowledge."
So here he is expressing the purpose why the Lord descended in his home. Purport: when the Lord appeared before Kardamuni after his mature yoga practice, he promised that he would become Kardama's son. Right? He had promised Lord Vishnu. So he descended as the son of Kardamuni in order to fulfill that promise. So he had promised. Another purpose of his appearance is Chikirshur Bhagavan Jnanam, to distribute knowledge. Therefore, he is called Bhaktana Manavardhanaha, he who increases the honor of his devotees. By distributing Sankhya, he would increase the honor of the devotees. Therefore, Sankhya philosophy is not dry mental speculation. Sankhya philosophy means devotional service. How could the honor of the devotees be increased unless Sankhya were meant for devotional service? Devotees are not interested in speculative knowledge. Therefore, the Sankhya enunciated by Kapil Muni is meant to establish one firmly in devotional service. Real knowledge and real liberation is to surrender to the Supreme Personality of God and engage in devotional service. Okay, 31. Tanyeva te bhirupani rupani bhagavamstava yani yani charochante svajananam arupinaha.
My dear Lord, although you have no material form, you have your own innumerable form. They truly are your transcendental forms, which are pleasing to your devotee.
So here he says that Rupani forms. So the Lord does not have material form, but he has many transcendental forms, which are Swajananam Rochante. They are pleasing to the devotees. So both words are used, Rupani and Arupina. So Arupina refers to no material form, but he has many transcendental forms. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. So Vishwanath Chakravarti is quoting Sridhar Swami. He says, these are suitable forms, forms of eternity, knowledge and bliss belonging to you, eternal knowledge and bliss, which are pleasing to your devotees. Other forms not pleasing to the devotees are actually not your forms, but are Maya forms, since you are without material form. Okay, so all other forms are what forms? So they are all like devatas, so they are all material forms. But as far as the Lord's form is concerned, all the forms are transcendental. So Prabhupada writes, the Lord has, okay, Prabhupada is also quoting the same thing from Sridhar Swami has commented that Arupina, without form means without material form. The Lord has form, otherwise how can it be stated here, Tanyevati eva te abhirupani rupani bhagvam stava. You have your forms, but they're not material. Materially you have no form, but spiritually, transcendentally, you have multi-forms. Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand these transcendental forms of the Lord, and being disappointed, they say that the Supreme Lord is impersonal, but that is not a fact. Whenever there is a form, there is a person. So many times it's called as Purusha. So no material form, but spiritual form. हाँ बोल.
कि हमारा जो बालाजी है, कभी कभी महावीर प्रभु सेवा बोले थे सेवा करो इनिशिएशन के बाद, तो कोई कोई बोलते हैं कि हमारा गौड़ीय डिटी नहीं है, तो हम सेवा नहीं करेंगे, तो वो नाराज हो जाते हैं. तो ये ऑफेंसिव है कि हमें डिजायर करना कि राधा कृष्ण का सेवा करना, इंक्लाइन रहना, ये ऑफेंसिव है.
तो आप क्यों बोलते हैं ये गौड़ीय डिटी नहीं है?
नहीं, वही बोले थे.
अच्छा, वही बोले थे.
वही बोले थे कि डिवोटी बोल रहे हैं गॉड डिटी नहीं है, कौन सेवा करेगा, ये करेगा. अच्छा, इसे बोले थे. हाँ प्रभु जी बोले डिवोटी वैसे बोल रहे हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, तो
तो
इसलिए
ये मन
इसलिए
में
सेवा
चलता
नहीं
रहता
कर
है
रहे।
कि कभी कभी हम मना कर देते हैं कि नहीं नहीं हमको जगन्नाथ का थोड़ा सा अफेक्शन है, जगन्नाथ का सेवा करेंगे गिरा देंगे, तो ये ऑफेंसिव है, तो ये बात थोड़ा अंदर चलता है कभी कभी।
नहीं, तो इसलिए शास्त्र में क्या बताया गया है? अद्वैतम अच्युतम अनादिम अनंत रूपम, सब भगवान के रूप है ना।
यहाँ पे हनुमान डिस्क्राइब करते हैं कि मैं सीता, लक्ष्मी से ज्यादा मेरा सीता प्रिय है,
हाँ
क्योंकि मैं सीता को ज्यादा वर्शिप करता हूँ
सही
ये।
बात।
क्योंकि हनुमान यहाँ पे डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करते हैं, तो
हाँ, तो हर एक भक्त के लिए कुछ एक फॉर्म प्रिय हो सकता है।
ये ऑफेंसिव नहीं है, पूरी ग्रेट
नहीं ऑफेंसिव नहीं है, लेकिन हम बाकी फॉर्म्स को तुच्छ नहीं सोचना चाहिए। हम्म, क्योंकि बालाजी मतलब बाल कृष्ण, प्रभुपा जी कहते हैं ना। तो इसलिए जो गौड़ीय वैष्णव है वो भगवान के सभी फॉर्म्स को देखते हुए राधा कृष्ण को ही स्मरण करते हैं। तो जब श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने जगन्नाथ जी का दर्शन किया तो किसका स्मरण हुआ? कृष्ण का ही स्मरण, श्याम सुंदर का स्मरण। तो हमारा इष्ट देव है राधा कृष्ण सभी गौड़ीय वैष्णव के लिए। तो ये चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने कहा ना, आराध्य भगवान व्रजेश तनया। व्रजेश तनया मतलब कृष्ण। हाँ, आगे क्या है? तद्धाम वृंदावनम। तो ये चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने कहा है। तो इसलिए सभी गौड़ीय वैष्णव के लिए हमारा इष्ट देव है राधा कृष्ण। तो इसलिए जब हम बालाजी का दर्शन करते हैं तब भी हम कृष्ण का स्मरण कर सकते हैं। तो सब भगवान के अलग अलग रूप हैं।
किसी वक्त का वो स्टेज नहीं है
क्या?
कि हर फॉर्म में राधा कृष्ण
नहीं नहीं, लेकिन कृष्ण का स्मरण कर सकते हैं ना। ठीक है, नहीं कर सकते तो बालाजी का दर्शन करके ठीक है, खुश रहो। समस्या क्या है? हाँ, कृष्ण का एक फॉर्म समझना है। ठीक है, वो प्रेफरेंस हो सकता है, उस वो गलत नहीं है, लेकिन अभी हमारा सिद्धांत क्या है? वो भगवान को बाजू में छोड़ो, अभी भक्त की सेवा करना है ना। अभी भक्त बुला रहे सेवा के लिए, तो फिर वो भक्त को प्रसन्न करना है ना। फिर भगवान को प्रसन्न करना वो बाद में आएगा। तो हमारे महाप्रभु ने हमारे सिद्धांत क्या बताया? गोपीर बतुर पद कमल्योर दास दास दास। वो पहला सिद्धांत है। तो इसलिए ठीक है, हमारा प्रेफरेंस हो सकता है, ठीक है मुझे जगन्नाथ प्रिय है, ये प्रिय, वो ठीक है, लेकिन भगवान को समझने के लिए सबसे पहले भक्त को प्रसन्न करना होगा ना। तो इसलिए अगर कोई भक्त सेवा दे रहे हैं तो फिर वो भक्त को प्रसन्न करने के लिए सेवा करना है, वो भगवान का फॉर्म जो भी हो। फिर वो भक्त की सेवा करेंगे तो फिर वो बालाजी में कृष्ण दिखेंगे। भगवान का साक्षात्कार बाद में आएगा ना, वो भक्त की कृपा से ही आएगा। ठीक है ना?
ठीक है भाई। पर यहाँ पे हनुमान ऐसा क्यों बोलते बोझी? इट इज अंडरस्टूड अकॉर्डिंग द टेस्ट ऑफ हिज मल्टी डिवोटी, it is understood that once Hanuman, the great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, said that he knew the Narayan form and husband of Lakshmi and Rama, the husband of Sita, are one and same, that there is no difference between Lakshmi and Sita, but as for himself, he likes the form of Lord Rama. In a similar way, some devotee worship the original form of Krishna. When we say Krishna, we refer to all form of Lord, not only Krishna, but the Rama, Narasimha, Varaha.
तो इसलिए ना अद्वैतम, अद्वैतम मतलब क्या है? नो डिफरेंस, देर ऑल सेम, बट स्टिल अनंत रूपम, स्टिल देर डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स। सो वन एंड डिफरेंट साइमल्टेनियसली, वन एंड डिफरेंट। They're all one because they're all different forms of the same Supreme Lord. But still there is a difference, because there is a difference in the number of qualities, there's a difference in the mood, there's a difference in activities, so differences are there. But still, they're all different forms of the one absolute truth. तो ब्रह्म संहिता में ये उदाहरण है, कौन सा उदाहरण? दीपाचिरेव दशांतरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृत हेतु समान धर्म यस्तादृगेव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविंदमादि पुरुष. So examples of candles. So all candles look similar, na? But still there is one original candle. So similarly, Krishna is like the original candle. But still all other candles also give light. They are also similar. So other avatars are also similar to the Supreme Lord, but still there is one original, Govindam Adi Purusha. But different devotees may have, according to their rasa, they may have their preferences for certain incarnations. That is not wrong.
Is it offensive? नहीं है.
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ offense नहीं. That is natural. This comes, I think so, in Brahmaji's prayers, I think, na? 9th chapter, 3rd canto, 9th chapter. हो गया ना? There is one verse where he says that the Lord appears to the devotees in those forms in which the devotees want to see him. It's in that chapter, no? See? Hey, you do a search. What is that? How it begins?
So स्वादभ्रकर्णो भगवान विवृत प्रेम स्मितेन नयनां बुरहं विजृम्भन् उत्थाय. No, not.
This is Brahmaji's prayers, no?
Brahmaji's prayers.
In the 9th chapter, you see.
3rd canto,
9th chapter.
Not that. Yad diyata urugaya vibhavayan tappu pranayase sadhanukta. Yad diyata urugaya vibhavayan. How it starts?
Take the mic. Three, 9,
11.
11. Read the translation.
O my Lord, your devotees can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed, and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you.
Yes. You're so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. And Prabhupada, he begins his purport with that statement only. The statement here that the Lord manifests himself before the devotee in the form in which the devotee likes to worship him indicates that the Lord becomes subordinate to the desire of the devotee. So much so that the Lord manifests his particular form as the devotee demands. This demand of the devotee is satisfied by the Lord because he is pliable in terms of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Ye yatamam prapadyante. We should note, however, that the Lord is never the order supplier of the devotee. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita This indicates the efficiency achieved through execution of mature devotional service of prema, love of Godhead. So on the level of prema, then the Lord reciprocates in that way. And then Prabhupada is explaining how one can come to that level of prema. And then further down, Prabhupada is explaining, this attachment of the devotee to a particular form of the Lord is due to natural inclination. Each and every living entity is originally attached to a particular type of transcendental service because he is eternally the servitor of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya says that the living entity is eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of God, Shri Krishna. Therefore, every living entity has a particular type of service relationship with the Lord eternally. This particular attachment is invoked by the practice of regulative devotional service. That's Vedi Sandha Bhakti. And thus the devotee becomes attached to the eternal form of the Lord, exactly like the one who is already eternally attached. And this attachment to a particular form of the Lord is called Swarup Siddhi. The Lord sits on the lotus heart of the devotee in the eternal form of the pure devotee desires, and thus the Lord does not part from the devotee as confirmed in the previous verse. Na prakasha sarvasya. ठीक है? हाँ, correct. That is famous pastime. Gajavish.
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, one question.
हाँ बोलो.
Prabhuji, many times we say this arupani word used.
What is that?
Arupani word.
Arupan.
So why words like Divya Rupani or that is not used? Why only Arupani has to be used every time? If it is transcendental form directly, we can use the word Divya or some other words which convey that form rather than Arupani.
Why the word Arupani? This is which verse? 31. I don't know exactly why this word only has to be used. Of course, these type of words do come in many places. So, I don't know, maybe to confuse the Mayavadis.
Yeah, that's if you use direct word, then there is no scope of interpretation only, and sort of confusion also.
I think so. That's the nature of the Shastras, to present in indirect ways sometimes. So there's that verse in the 11th canto, where Lord is telling Uddhava he likes this Parokshavad. Correct?
Yes.
I'm forgetting the exact reference. In the 11th canto, there's that verse.
Yes, yes, that. Here, whole philosophy change. We are already conditioned, and we have these tendencies. We are already conditioned, and we have these tendencies. So, if words like this are used, then it will be more confusing than.
So therefore, the process of understanding transcendental knowledge is what?
Hearing from bona fide sources.
Yes, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So that is what Krishna expects. So Krishna expects that we surrender to the acharyas, and then only we'll be able to understand. That is the process of understanding. And so therefore here also we see that Vishwanath Thakur and Srila Prabhupada both are quoting from Sridhar Swami to to explain that word arupina. So the only way we can understand the correct meaning of these words is through the acharyas. And that is the process of devotional service. One can understand only through the acharyas. And that is what Krishna wants. He wants us to surrender to the acharyas, the gurus. Without that, it's not possible. And then one can concoct so many different meanings and get bewildered. So that is the reason why this type of indirect language is used.
Yes, true. Yes, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, 32. Tvam suribhistattva bhubutsayadha sadha bivadharhanapadapītam Aishwarya vairagya yasho babodha virya shriya purtamaham prapadye.
My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages, eager to understand the absolute truth. You are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty, and therefore I surrender myself onto your lotus feet.
So here he is. Here Kardamuni is surrendering to Lord Kapila and is glorifying him. He is glorifying his lotus feet. Tvam suribhi tattva bhuvutsaya adha sadha abhivada. So the sages always worship your lotus feet. Aishwarya, Vairagya, Yasha, Avabodha, Virya, Shriya. So these are the opulences of the Supreme Lord. And so he's saying, Aham prapadye, I surrender to the lotus feet of the Absolute Truth, who has all these various opulences. Prabhupada is quoting from the 9th chapter, Manmana Bhaumad Bhakto. And then he's saying how the Lord is full with 6 opulences. Okay. So then in the next verse, again, he's talking about surrendering. Param pradhanam purusham mahantam kalam kavim trivritam lokapalam atmanubhutyānugata prapancham swachanda shaktim kapilam prapadye.
I surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead descended in the form of Kapila, who is independently powerful and transcendental, who is the Supreme Person and the Lord of the sum total of the matter and the element of time, who is fully cognizant maintainer of all the universes under the 3 modes of material nature and who absorbs the material manifestations after their dissolution.
Okay, so here he is giving some Aishwarya Gyan about Lord Kapila. So he's talking about some of the qualities and his opulences. So Param, so first thing he's saying is Param. Param means transcendental. That means he's not affected by the material energy. Pradhanam, he's supreme, Purusham, person. Mahantam, the origin of the material world. Kalam, who is time. Kavim, fully cognizant. So these are all the qualities of the Supreme Lord. He's glorifying. Trivritam, so he's the source of the 3 modes. Lokapalam, maintainer of the universes. Atma Anubhutya, so he is by his own internal potency. And then he also does Anugata, that is, dissolves the material worlds, Prapancham. Swachanda, his independent, Shaktim Kapilam Prapadye. So he is describing various qualities of the Supreme Lord. And that's what Prabhupada is describing. Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the time element, he is all cognizant, he knows everything, past, present, future. What's the verse from Bhagavad Gita? I know past, present, future.
Vedaham
Vedam
samatidani.
samatidani vartmanani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kashana. So, parasya shaktir vividhai vashruyate. So here, interesting point, next paragraph. Kapila Muni appeared as the son of Karda Muni, but because Kapila is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Karda Muni offered respectful obeisance unto him with full surrender. Okay, so though he's his son, he's surrendering. Another word in this verse is very important. Atmanubhutyanugata prapancham. The Lord descends either as Kapila or Rama, Narasimha, Vara, and whatever forms he assumes in the material world are all manifestations of his own personal internal energy. Okay, so even though they descend in the material world, they're all internal energy. They're never forms of the material energy. His body is not material. Okay, so having glorified Lord Kapila, now he is making a request. What's that? 34th verse. Asma vipricchedya patim prajanam tvaya vatirnarna utapta kama parivrajat padavim astitoham charishye tvam hridhi yunjan vishokaha.
Today I have something to ask from you. Who are the Lord of all living entities? Since I have now been liberated by you from my debts to my Father, and since all my desires are fulfilled, I wish to accept the order of an itinerant mendicant. Renouncing this family life, I wish to wander about, free from lamentation, thinking always of you in my heart.
Okay, read the purport.
Actually, sannyas or renunciation of material household life necessitates complete absorption in Krishna consciousness and immersion in the self. One does not take sannyas, freedom from family responsibility in the renounced order of life, to make another family or to create an embarrassing transcendental fraud in the name of sannyas. The sannyasi's business is not to become proprietor of so many things and amass money from the innocent public. A sannyasi is proud that he is always thinking of Krishna within himself. Of course, there are two kinds of devotees of the Lord. One is Goshtyanandi, which means those who are preachers and have many followers for preaching the glories of the Lord, and who live among those many followers just to organize missionary activities. Other devotees are Atmanandi, or self-satisfied, and do not take the risk of preaching work. They therefore remain alone with God. In this classification was Kardama Muni. He wanted to be free from all anxieties and remain alone within his heart with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parivraja means an itinerant mendicant. Mendicant sannyasi should not live anywhere for more than 3 days. He must be always moving because his duty is to move from door to door and enlighten people about Krishna consciousness.
So Prabhupada is talking something about sannyas here. So the main purpose of sannyas is what? Yes, complete absorption in Krishna consciousness. That's the main reason. Complete absorption in Krishna consciousness and immersion in the self. So it should not become embarrassing transcendental fraud. Nor is it meant for becoming proprietor of many things, amass money from innocent public. The main thing is always thinking of Krishna within himself. So that's the main purpose of sannyas. And so Kardamuni, he wanted to renounce the family and basically travel and preach. So that is what he wanted to do. But then he is requesting for permission from Lord Kapila. Okay, we'll read Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary on this. Now I ask for the order to renounce. The debt, the order of my father to produce offspring has been liquidated by your appearance. That was Brahmaji's order to create offspring. He says, now that's finished. My desire is fulfilled. Accepting the path of renunciation, remembering you in my heart, I will wander about here and there. Kardam contemplated in his mind, I have been fixed in my Lord Narayan since birth as a servant. So Kardamuni was fixed in Lord Narayan as a servant. Now with the birth of a son, it will be hard to avoid having fatherly affection for the Lord, because he's father. So now, with the birth, yes, but the simultaneous mixture of dasya and vatsalya is not suitable. That's what he's thinking. So it's a little difficult, no? To have mixture of dasya and vatsalya. So Mother Yashoda has only vatsalya. Of course, the dasya is also there in the background. Ultimately, she wants to serve only. But as in the mood of vatsalya, she is chastising. So if somebody is in dasya bhav, how can he chastise? Very difficult, no? Servant cannot chastise. So therefore, here Lord Kapila is thinking that this combination of dasya and vatsalya is very difficult. However, the independent Lord sinking me in the ocean of lamentation will quickly have me renounce. So he's thinking that, but the Lord will help me to renounce. Why should I not immediately renounce? I will not commit an offense to the Lord in giving him up when he appeared in my house, because the worshipable Lord is dependent on worship, according to the Vaishnavas. Thus, one should have more eagerness for worshipping the Lord than for the Lord himself. I wish to worship him without interruption in a solitary forest 24 hours a day. Okay, so he's thinking, let me maintain the dasya bhav. So in order to maintain the dasya bhav, I'll go to the forest and worship him. So then I can maintain my dasya bhav. Oh, mic दे दो.
तो यहाँ पे प्रभुपाद बताते हैं कि आत्मानंदी, आत्मानंदी, गोष्ठानंदी,
गोष्ठानंदी,
गोष्ठानंदी और आत्मानंदी.
आत्मानंदी.
किंतु ISKCON में ये अलाउ नहीं करते कि आत्मानंदी बन ही नहीं सकते आप. वो बोले कि फास्ट सर्व देन समाधि लेटर.
हरे कृष्ण, हरे कृष्ण. तो प्रभुपाद का क्या एग्जाम्पल है? प्रभुपाद ने क्या एग्जाम्पल दिखाया
यहाँ पे परपोट में? नहीं,
परपोट नहीं, उनके जीवन में.
नहीं, प्रभुपाद जीवन.
हाँ, तो प्रभुपाद अंतिम सांस तक सेवा कर रहे थे ना. तो प्रभुपाद ने कभी भजनानंद नहीं बने. हाँ, तो प्रभुपाद ने कभी लास्ट के दिनों में भी प्रभुपाद जी पूरी तरह बीमार थे, फिर भी भक्तों को बोल रहे थे अभी मैं अमेरिका जाना चाहता हूँ. फिर प्रभुपाद गए ना, हाँ, लंदन तक गए, फिर बहुत बीमार हो गए, वापस आ गए. तो ये प्रभुपाद जी का एग्जाम्पल है हमारे लिए.
किंतु यहाँ पे साधु शास्त्र और ये में देखा जाए तो
हाँ, शास्त्र में है, शास्त्र में दोनों प्रकार के भक्तों के बारे में बताया है, लेकिन हमें हमारा आचार्य को फॉलो करना चाहिए ना. क्योंकि
आज नेचर किसी डिवोटी का एक नेचर है कि वो गोष्ठ भजनानंदी में बेस्ट कर सकता है.
देखिए, सब भजनानंदी तो है ही ना. हम भजन कर रहे हैं या नहीं
कर रहे हैं?
हाँ, तो हम सब भजन तो कर रहे हैं ना. तो चैंटिंग चल रहा है, रीडिंग चल रहा है, हियरिंग चल रहा है, ये सब क्या है? भजन नहीं तो और क्या है? हाँ, ये सब भजन ही है ना। तो कितने घंटे भजन चल रहा है?
नहीं, कोई यदि चाहेगा कि हाँ जैसे भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर 10 साल उनका पोटेंसी बढ़ाने के लिए, प्रीचिंग का स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ाने के लिए, कृष्ण का शक्ति प्राप्त के लिए उन्होंने गए और 192 राउंड जप किए, तो ये से डिवोटी यदि माने मतलब करेंगे तो उनको भी तो
ठीक है ना। तो
कोई इंस्पायर नहीं करेंगे।
तो अपने दीक्षा गुरु को पूछ सकते हैं। तो गुरु के आदेश के बिना हम कैसे कर सकते हैं? तो आदेश मिलेगा तो ठीक है, नहीं तो कैसे कर सकते? तो हमारे लिए जो प्रभुपाद जी के आदेश है वो फॉलो करना है, मनमाने ढंग से कुछ नहीं।
मुझे एक क्लैरिफिकेशन था। ये मीन्स so Kardam Muni, did he waited till Kapila and all the daughters grew up and then got married, or all these things are happening immediately after the birth? I didn't understood that gap is how much, because they all are told immediately back to back.
So here at least it appears as if Brahmaji came with the sages and the sages got married to the daughters.
But just now they were born, na?
Just now means what? So anyway, what is the exact time frame is not mentioned, but whatever it is. So see, first the daughters were born, and then after and it's mentioned all the daughters were born on one day. On the same day, all the daughters were born. So, and then it seems after the daughters were born, yes, he was about to leave, then Mother Devuti requested. Then when exactly, what was the time gap when Lord Kapila was born? That is not exactly mentioned. How many years have passed, no? That's what. So, but many years have passed before Lord Kapila is born. So it seems that by the time the daughters have grown up, by the time Lord Kapila is born, the daughters have grown up. And so now Brahmaji is coming and the daughters are getting married. No. Huh?
Lord Brahma and the sages came to witness the birth of Kapil.
Yes, almost at the time of birth only.
Then on that day only marriage also happened.
Okay, that day or which day is not exactly mentioned, but around that same time. So Brahmaji came that time and that time. Anyway, he left the sages. It's not mentioned that they got married on the same day. Na? The sages came along with Brahma, and then Brahmaji left, the sages remained. But when exactly the marriage took place, that is not mentioned. But in any case.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. That Kapil Gardam Muni said that when we get the son, immediately after that I will leave. So time is not mentioned, but it's appear that he left immediately.
Yes.
After. In exceptional cases, can somebody leave so immediately, even in Grasta Ashram? In today's age, Kali, in the age of Kali also, if in certain exceptional cases someone is so highly advanced, so can he live like that?
No. So ordinary cases, one has to perform one's responsibilities, na? One cannot live without completing one's responsibilities. So here the case is different. Here Kardamuni, as we can see, Brahmaji came and told that this is Supreme Lord. So Kardamuni, they knew definitely that this is Supreme Lord. So this case is different. But otherwise, the Grihastha has to fulfill his responsibilities to bring up the children, get them married. So all the responsibilities have to be complete. Then only they can renounce.
No, means I am asking about exceptional cases like means someone is highly advanced, spiritually advanced, chanting.
कौन highly advanced?
Means sometimes some exceptional cases like means is considered not everyone, but exceptional cases can be there or not. No exception can be there in Kali Yuga. That's why I mean.
तो कौन highly advanced है? पिता highly advanced है या बच्चा highly advanced?
पिता highly advanced है.
हाँ.
तो he
ठीक है,
doesn't he
highly advanced है, लेकिन बच्चे का ख्याल कौन करेगा?
उसको लगता है भगवान देख लेंगे. ऐसा मतलब.
Okay, you are referring to the Sridhar Maharaj. Sridhar Swami, original commentator.
Such cases can happen.
Oh, those are highly exceptional. That Sridhar Swami, he had a child, and as soon as he had the child, he saw the lizard, the baby lizard, and then he immediately left. So those are highly exceptional. These are extraordinary personalities. So in our case, see, whatever we do, it has to be according to Guru Sadhu Shastra. So even if somebody may be highly advanced or whatever, so duties have to be performed. Duties cannot be renounced. And even if one wants to do that, then one has to take permission. One cannot do whimsically.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this way, Kardamuni spoke to Lord Kapila. So he glorified him and then finally requested for permission to renounce and leave. So now the Lord is speaking. Text 35. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Proktam Hi Lokasya Pramanam Satya Laukike Atha Jani Maya Tubhyam Yad Avocham Mrutam Mune.
Personality of Godhead, Kapila said, whatever I speak, whether directly or in the scriptures, is authoritative in all respects for the people of the world. O Muni, because I told you before that I would become your son, I have descended to fulfill this truth.
So here Lord Kapila is saying, and whatever he speaks, Maya Proktam hi lokasya pramanam satya laukike. So whatever the Lord speaks is praman. There's no need of any other praman. Though in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does give some other praman for what he speaks also sometimes. Like 13th chapter, 5th verse. 13th chapter, 5th verse, Lord Krishna is giving another praman. What praman he is giving? He is giving praman of the Vedanta Sutra, he is giving praman of the sages like Parashar Muni. So of course there's no need, but still he follows the etiquette, Guru Sadhu Shastra. But otherwise there's no need because whatever he speaks is perfect. And then here he's saying that I have taken birth, atha ajani maya tubhyam yat avocham ritam mune. So just to fulfill the promise. Okay, purport. So Kardamuni was to leave his family life to completely engage in the service of the Lord. But since he knew that the Lord himself as Kapila had taken birth in his home as his own son, why was he preparing to leave home to search out self-realization or God realization? God himself was present in his home. So why should he leave home? Logical question, no? So he is going to meditate on the Lord somewhere, but the Lord is in his own home. Why should he go somewhere else? So such a question may certainly arise. But here it is said that whatever is spoken in the Vedas and whatever is practiced in accordance with the injunctions of the Vedas is to be accepted as authoritative in society. So what does the Vedas say? Panchoshvadam vanam vrajet. So that is Shastric injunction. So therefore Kardamuni is ready to follow that even though the Lord has appeared as a son in his home, just to set the right example. Next paragraph also Prabhupada writes that. Even though he had the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a son, he had to respect the authority of the Vedas. This is a very important lesson. Even if one has God in his home as a son, one should still follow the Vedic injunctions. Mahajano yena tatha sapanta. One should traverse the path which is followed by great personalities. The next paragraph, Prabhupada writes, again the same point. Prabhupada is repeating the same point, practically 3 times is repeating. Then again in the next paragraph also he repeats. He left home just to obey the authority of the Vedic injunction. Kardamuni states here the main purpose of his leaving home, while traveling all over the world as a mendicant, he would always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart and thereby be freed from all the anxieties of material existence. In this age of Kali Yuga, sannyas is prohibited because persons in this age are all Shudras and cannot follow the rules and regulations of sannyas life. It is very commonly found that so-called sannyasis are addicted to nonsense, even to having private relationships with women. This is the abominable situation in this age. Although they dress themselves as sannyasis, they still cannot free themselves from the 4 principles of sinful life. Since they are not freed from these 4 principles, they are cheating the public by posing as swamis. In Kali Yuga, the injunction is that no one should accept sannyas. Of course, those who actually follow the rules and regulations must take sannyas. Generally, however, people are unable to accept sannyas life, and therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stressed, Kalau nasteva 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 gatiranyatha. In this age, there's no other alternative, no other alternative, no other alternative than chant the holy name of Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. The main purpose of sannyas life is to be in constant companionship with the Supreme Lord, either by thinking of Him within the heart or hearing of Him through oral reception. In this age, hearing is more important than thinking because one's thinking may be disturbed by mental agitation. But if one concentrates on hearing, he'll be forced to associate with the sound vibration of Krishna. Krishna and the sound vibration, Krishna, are non-different. So if one loudly vibrates Hare Krishna, he'll be able to think of Krishna immediately. This process of chanting is the best process of self-realization in this age. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya preached it so nicely for the benefit of all humanity. Okay, so important purport. So therefore, sannyas is not so much encouraged in this Kali Yuga, unless one is able to rigidly follow all the rules and regulations. So Prabhupada has written even in the pastime that's going to come later on, in the 4th canto, Prithu Maharaj pastime. Indra was taking the dresses of so many pseudo-sannyasis. So there also Srila Prabhupada writes the same point, that unless one is able to rigidly follow all the rules and regulations, one should not accept sannyas. So of course, nowadays in ISKCON, things are quite strict. So sannyas is not given so easily. So here the Lord is saying that just to fulfill the promise that I made, therefore I have appeared. And whatever I speak, that is going to be authoritative. Okay. 36. The Lord continues to speak. Etan me janma lokesmen mumukshunam dunashayat prasankhyanaya tattvanam sammatayatma darshane.
My appearance in this world is especially to explain the philosophy of Sankhya, which is highly esteemed for self-realization by those desiring freedom from the entanglement of unnecessary material desires.
Yes, so the Lord is telling the purpose of his appearance. This thing appeared basically for preaching the Sankhya philosophy. Prasankhyanaya tattvanam, to explain the tattva. So here Prabhupada writes that here the word durashayat is very significant. Dur refers to trouble or dukkha, miseries. Ashayat means from the shelter. We conditioned souls have taken shelter of the material body, which is full of troubles and miseries. Foolish people cannot understand the situation, and this is called ignorance, illusion of the spell of Maya. So people will be able to come out of this illusory situation by understanding this Sankhya philosophy. Freedom from the entangled unnecessary material desires. Okay, 37. Eshatma pato vyakto nashta kalena bhuyasa tam pravartayatum deham imam vidhi mayavritam.
This path of self-realization, which is difficult to understand, has now been lost in the course of time. Please now know that I have assumed this body of Kapila to introduce and explain this philosophy to human society again.
So this seems to be like Bhagavad Gita. What Krishna said there?
Yogo nashta sakalena eva.
Sakalena mahata yogo nashta parantapa. How does it begin? Sa evayam maya yoga prokta puratana.
भक्तोसी में सखा चेती रसमित भक्तम.
वो ठीक है, but where this we are talking about this. Sa kalaneha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. How does it begin? Vivasvade yogam proktavan. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshriyo vidu sa kalaneha mahata yogo nashta. So similar thing he's telling here also, that this knowledge has been lost in the course of time. So this is an important point. As Prabhupada writes in the purport here, on the material platform, everyone, especially the mental speculator, tries to be more prominent than others. The field of activity of the speculators is the mind. There is no limit to the different ways in which one can agitate the mind. The mind can be unlimitedly agitated, and thus one can put forward an unlimited number of theories. But Sankhya philosophy is not like that. It's not mental speculation. It is factual, but at the time of Kapila, it was lost. And then Prabhupada writes, okay, Prabhupada is quoting this verse from Bhagavad Gita. In due course of time, a particular type of knowledge may be lost or may be covered for the time being. That is the nature of this material world. That is the nature of this material world. A similar statement was made by Lord Krishna Bhagavad Gita, Sarkalanamata Yoga Nashta. In course of time, the yoga system as stated in the disciplic, in Bhagavad Gita was lost. It was coming in parampara, in disciplic succession, but due to the passage of time, it was lost. The time factor is so pressing that in the course of time, everything when this material world is spoiled or lost. The yoga system of Bhagavad Gita was lost before the meeting of Krishna and Arjuna. Therefore, Krishna again enunciated the same ancient yoga system to Arjuna, who could actually understand Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, Kapila also said the system of Sankhya philosophy was not exactly being introduced by him. It was already current, but in course of time, it was mysteriously lost. And therefore, he appeared to reintroduce it. That's the purpose of the incarnation of God. Yada yada dharmasi. And then further down, when people forget their eternal relationship with God and engage in something other than devotional service, the engagement is called irreligion. How one can get out of the miserable condition of material life is in Sankhya philosophy. Okay, so as Prabhupada is writing that this is the nature of the material world, that things get lost or changed. And as Prabhupada is explaining, the nature of the mind is under the influence of Rajogun, so many concoctions. And so therefore this tendency is always there because the influence of Rajogun, Tamogun very prominent, especially in Kali Yuga. So therefore we find so many so-called sadhus having their own different philosophies, so many concoctions, so many things. As Prabhupada himself said, before he wrote his Bhagavad Gita, how many editions? Prabhupada says some 600, 700 editions of the Gita. But each one writing his own philosophy and not presenting as it is. So that's the reason why Srila Prabhupada emphasized so much Don't change anything. Don't add, don't subtract, don't concoct. So it's very important for us to maintain the parampara. Who's going to maintain the parampara? Huh? Yes, we only have to maintain. So if we change things, then down the line, what has been changed will become the truth. That will become authentic in time. That is how deviations start, and that's how apasampradayas begin. So somebody changes something, and then that becomes the standard. So therefore, we have to be very careful not to introduce something new. And Prabhupada, he was of course telling about his Western disciples, that they always want to introduce something new. Of course, it applies to everyone now. But then one lecture Prabhupada says, no? He quotes one Bengali song. What is that? Kichu Nutan Karu. Something like that. Do something new. Do something new. There's one whole song actually. Prabhupada says, one whole song, Bengali song. Do something new. Because if you do something new, then people will recognize, no? If you do the same old thing, who's going to recognize? In a class, you tell something new, then people will say, wow, that's something fantastic. You speak the same old thing, what people will say? Oh, boring. Right? So therefore, people don't like to listen to proper lectures much. It's the same old thing. But we have some so-called motivational speakers speaking something new all the time. Then people say, wow, that's good. So these tendencies are there. But if we don't guard against speculations and concoctions, which especially in Kali Yuga are so rampant, then things will get deviated. So just like His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj writes in his Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards book. So there he says that, so now people have introduced some new tunes and this and that, and then you tell them, no, this is not correct. So then they say, no, but we have been doing this since ages now. So then what is wrong becomes right. And what is right will become wrong. Then you tell them the right thing, they'll say, no, no, that is wrong. So then that's how deviations take place, and then that will become the norm. Therefore, we have to be very careful against all these deviations. So of course, Srila Prabhupada was traveling all over the world just for this reason, to see that people are properly following the standards and not deviating. I think so. We told you this pastime of this head pujari in Los Angeles and the chapatis. I'm sure I told in some Bhakti Shastri class. So in any case, I'll just repeat it. So there was this, so Shrutikirti Prabhu tells this pastime. So we know Shrutikirti Prabhu, how we would offer chapatis to Srila Prabhupada. One hot chapati at a time. So, because Srila Prabhupada always wanted hot, puffed up chapatis, fulka. Prabhupada's purpose was easy for digestion. Hot chapatis are easy for digestion. Actually, you can actually feel it. If you take those type of chapatis, hot puffed up chapatis. So you feel very light, you don't feel heavy. So, of course, in Kunjibari, we were making only those type of chapatis. I don't know why they changed it over here. In any case. So Srila Prabhupada, he would take 5, 6. So so therefore the system was one hot chapati from the kitchen at a time. So the servant would go to the kitchen, one hot chapati on the plate, bring it and put on Srila Prabhupada's plate, offer obeisances, go back to the kitchen, next chapati, then again put it on Prabhupada's plate, again offer obeisances, then go to the kitchen, next. So that was the system. So, so then this head pujari in Los Angeles, there was this Mataji. Anyway, I just forgot her name. In any case, she passed away recently, actually. So when she came to know about this, she thought, this is very nice. So why can't I do the same thing for the deities? So that's what she did the next day for Rajbhog. So one hot chapati from the kitchen to the altar. And so she was very happy that she did something extraordinary. And she very happily came and told Shrutikiti Prabhu that this is what she did. She said, just like you serve hot chapatis for Srila Prabhupada, I did the same thing for the deities. And Shrutikiti Prabhu immediately went and told Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada immediately called this Mataji and said, who told you to do that? This is not for the deities. For the deities, you put the plate over there and you come out. You don't go in and out. So Srila Prabhupada was, so for everything Prabhupada was checking. There's so many pastimes actually. So Srila Prabhupada, wherever he would travel, he would go and see whether the standards are proper. There's one pastime in South America. This is told by Hridayanand Maharaj. Hridayanand Maharaj. So how Srila Prabhupada, when he received him at the airport, he was totally silent, even though he was telling all his wonderful book distribution course, Spanish books. Srila Prabhupada was totally silent. He was not responding at all. And he was wondering what's happening. But in any case, as soon as they reached the temple, Srila Prabhupada immediately, it was lunchtime. So Srila Prabhupada immediately asked for Rajbhog. So they got the whole plate of Rajbhog. And as soon as Srila Prabhupada had it, Srila Prabhupada was so upset. And Srila Prabhupada passed comment something like the dal is like mud or something like that. Prabhupada passed some very heavy comments. So right from the airport, Srila Prabhupada knew what's on the Raj. So that's how Srila Prabhupada, wherever he went, he was checking whether the standards are being properly followed. Even in kirtans, whenever things would go off track, Srila Prabhupada would immediately correct. So that is very important. Otherwise, what will happen? Deviations will come. If nobody corrects the deviations, then the deviations will become the standard after some time. So just like nowadays the tunes they sing in, as per Jayadvaita Maharaj, the tunes they sing in Mangalarti, they are not introduced by Srila Prabhupada. So, but now that has become the standard. Now, if you don't sing them, they may say, oh, there's something wrong. But Srila Prabhupada had only one tune, the morning melody, only one tune. And the entire Mangalarti is actually supposed to be sung only in that one tune. So that is the standard. But now it has become common, everyone follows. Senior devotees, everyone follows. So, so many things. Some people are singing that, what? Hari Hare Nama Krishna. Even if somebody wants to sing that, actually what is supposed to be sung is only, yes, Hari Hare Nama Krishna and Gopal Govindanam Srimad Sudha. Now somebody is singing the whole song. What to do? So this is how deviations creep in. And so therefore one has to be extremely careful. Otherwise, as Prabhupada is writing, this is the nature of the material world. Nature of the material world is for things to get lost, deviated. In fact, even some of these, of course, Prabhupada talks about even Christians, isn't it? Even Christianity. They are modified, they've edited, thou shalt not kill has become thou shalt not murder. And so many things have been changed. Old Testament, New Testament, they changed things. Even I read about this Swaminarayan. I once went and saw their books, their history. The person who started was a Sri Vaishnava or some Ramanandi branch of the Sri Vaishnavas. It was Sri Vaishnava. But now over time, what has happened? Yes, the Swami has become Narayan now. They've made it Mayavad. But originally he was a Sri Vaishnava. So this is how things change. So in one class we were discussing about Laddu Gopal. So where is this Laddu Gopal coming from? In ISKCON. Who Prabhupada introduced Laddu Gopal worship. Now you go to Grihastha's house, practically every Grihastha's house you'll find one Laddu Gopal. So where is all this? So of course, whenever we get a chance, we always try to speak about these things so that people understand the importance of maintaining the proper standards and not deviating. So otherwise, everything will become diluted over time. Then the spiritual potency will be lost. And over time, we don't know, what will happen. And somebody will introduce some Mayavad also. So one has to be very careful. Therefore, it's always best to present things as it is. Anyway, we don't want to discuss that now.
Recently, we were in Karnataka Bhagavad Gita distribution. I saw same thing. Every shop they keep another Bhagavad Gita, Ramakrishna Paramahansa Bhagavad Gita. When I told that our Bhagavad Gita is so special and disciplic success and Parampara Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is the shop same only. Why you were told your Bhagavad Gita is special?
You're talking about outside shops.
Karnataka.
Outside shops, they'll keep anything. That is not our problem. That is not our problem. I'm talking about within ISKCON. At least within ISKCON, we should maintain the proper standards. Okay, let's go ahead. So anyway, it's almost 12:30, but I thought only few verses are remaining. So we'll just complete it instead of taking a break. All right, no? Okay, 38. Gaccha kamam maya prishto mayi sanyasta karmana jitva sudurjayam mrityam amritatvaya mam bhaja. Okay, online?
Now being sanctioned by me, go as you desire, surrendering all your activities to me. Conquering insurmountable death, worship me for eternal life.
Okay, so now the Lord is giving him permission. Gaccha, gaccha. Go. He's giving permission. Go. As you wish. Kamam. Gaccha kamam. Maya sprishta. Maya sprishta. So he's sanctioning. So this has been sanctioned by me. You can go. But at the same time, Mayi sanyasta karmana. Surrender all your works unto me. So in this way, what will happen? Jitva sudurjayam mrityum. So you'll be able to conquer mrityu, which is very difficult to conquer, insurmountable, sudurjayam. And you will achieve amritatvaya mam bhaja. So in this way, the Lord is actually giving him instructions as to what he should be doing. So he's saying, okay, you can go, but at the same time, don't forget devotional service to me. Wherever you are, surrender to me, perform devotional activities, and then in this way, you'll be able to surmount death. So as Prabhupada writes, to become free from birth and death is not an easy task. Birth and death are natural to this material body. Sudur Jayam means very, very difficult to overcome. The modern day scientists, of course, they don't know anything. So therefore they set aside the question. They do not even consider it. But actually human life is meant for conquering the insurmountable process of birth and death. That can be done as stated here. Mam bhaja. One must engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita Man Mana Bhava Man Bhakta. And Vishwanath Thakur gives a little interesting point here. So he says, just as you are asking to go, I am asking you to stay. It would be harsh for me to tell you to go. And even if you stay here, your desire will be fulfilled. If you're determined to go, then go as you wish. And then worship me for immortality. This recalls the Shruti text, avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyayam mritam ashnute. By karma, cross over obstacles, and by knowledge, attain eternal life. Okay, 39. Mamatmanam swayam jyoti sarvabhuta guhashayam atmanyevatmana viksha vishoko bhayam ruchasi.
In your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me, the Supreme Self-effulgent Soul dwelling within the hearts of all living entities. Thus you will achieve the state of eternal life, free from all lamentation and fear.
So in this way, if the Lord is telling him the results of worshipping him, so he's saying, if you do that, then you will always see me dwelling within the hearts of all living entities. Sarva bhuta guhashayam atmani evatmana. So in your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me. And then finally, you will achieve what? Vishoka, free from lamentation, and abhayam, fearlessness. Prabhupada says, Kapil Dev used the word mam atmanam, to emphasize that the personality of Godhead is the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. Also in Bhagavad Gita, same thing. Okay, then Prabhupada is speaking about Brahman Paramatma Bhagavan. Okay, fine. 40. Matra adhyatmikim vidyam shamanim sarva karmanam vitarashyaya chaso bhayam chati tarishyati.
I shall also describe this sublime knowledge, which is the door to spiritual life, to my mother, so that she can also attain perfection in self-realization, ending all reaction to fruitive activities. Thus, she also will be freed from all material fear.
Right, so Prabhupada writes, Kardamani was anxious about his good wife Devoti while leaving home. And so the worthy son promised that not only would Kardamani be freed from material entanglement, but Devoti would also be freed by receiving instructions from his son. A very good example is set here. The husband goes away, taking the sannyas order for self-realization, but his representative, the son, who is equally educated, remains at home to deliver the mother. A sannyasi is not supposed to take his wife with him. At the vanaprastha stage of retired life, or the stage midway between household life and renounced life, one may keep his wife as an assistant without sex relations. But in the sannyas out of life, one cannot keep his wife with him. Otherwise, a person like Kardamani could have kept his wife with him, and there would have been no hindrance to his prosecution of self-realization. Kardamani followed the Vedic injunction that no one in sannyas life can have any kind of relationship with women. But what is the position of a woman who is left by her husband? She is entrusted to the son, and the son promises that he will deliver his mother from entanglement. A woman is not supposed to take sannyas. Note that. Woman is not supposed to take sannyas. There are some women sannyasis, right? Yeah, some movements are having. No, that's not shastric. Of course, Prabhupada is writing that. So-called spiritual societies concocted in modern times give sannyas even to women, although there is no sanction in the Vedic literature for a woman's accepting sannyas. Otherwise, if it was sanctioned, Karda Muni could have taken his wife and given a sannyas. The woman must remain at home. She has only 3 stages of life: dependence on father in childhood, dependence on husband in youth, old age depends on grown-up son, such as Kapila. In old age, the progress of women depends on the grown-up son. The ideal son, Kapila Muni, is assuring his father of the deliverance of his mother so that his father may go peacefully without anxiety for his good wife. Okay, so that's what the Lord spoke to Karda Muni. So Karda Muni asked for permission to go, and the Lord gave him permission to go, but at the same time, worship him always and remember him. And in that way, yes, and in that way, he will achieve perfection, become free from lamentation and fear. Okay, so that's the end of this pastime. So, 41, Maitreya Uvacha evam samoditastena kapilena prajapati dakshini kritya tam prito vanam eva jagamaha.
Shall I continue reading, maybe?
Somebody else is there online?
He said, thus when Karda Muni, the progenitor of human society, was spoken to in fullness by his son, Kapila, he circumambulated him with a good and pacified mind. He at once left for the forest.
Right, so Karda Muni left for the forest. Prabhupada writes, going to the forest is compulsory for everyone. It's not a mental excursion upon which one person goes and another does not. Everyone should go to the forest, at least as a vanaprastha. But what does forest going mean? Forest going means to take 100% shelter of the Supreme Lord. That is the meaning of forest going. As stated in by Prahlad Maharaj, Sada Samudvignadiyam Asadgrahat. And then Prabhupada explains further, what does it mean to go to the forest? So further on, Prabhupada says, the preliminary processes to become freed is to go to the forest or to give up family relationships and exclusively engage in Krishna consciousness. That is the purpose of going to the forest. Otherwise, forest is only a place of monkeys and wild animals. To go to the forest does not mean to become monkey or a ferocious animal. It means to accept exclusively the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage oneself in full service. And then Prabhupada says one does not actually have to go to the forest. Now there are no forests anyways. So it does not literally mean, now it is not possible literally. So the present moment, this is not at all advisable for a man who has spent his life all along in big cities. As explained Prahlad Maharaj, Hitvatma Patam Grihimandakupam, one should not remain always engaged in the responsibilities of family life, because family life without Krishna consciousness is just like a blind well. Alone in a field, if one falls into a blind well and no one is there to save him, he may cry for years and no one will see or hear where the crying is coming from. Death is sure. Similarly, those who are forgetful of the eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord are in the blind well of family life. Their position is very ominous. Prahlad Maharaj advised that one should give up this well somehow or other and take to Krishna consciousness and thus be freed from it. So basically, going to the forest means what? Giving up family life. Giving up family life and taking to full Krishna consciousness. So that is the meaning of Vanaprastha. So Vanaprastha in the current age means basically coming to our ISKCON temples and doing full-time service. That is the meaning of Vanaprastha. So there's no one. Right, so these are special Prabhupada purports, modern day issues. 42. Vratam sa astito maunam atmaika sharano muni nisango vyacharat shonim anagnir aniketanaha. Pardon?
The sage Kardama accepted the silence as a vow in order to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and take shelter of him exclusively. Without association, he traveled over the surface of the globe as sannyasi and devoid of any relationship with the fire or shelter.
Right. So, Maunam, Vratam sa astitam Maunam. He took the vow of silence. So, what does silence mean for us? Yes, to speak only about Krishna, no material subject matters. And then he says, Anagnir aniketanaha, no, without fire and without shelter. So Prabhupada is explaining this. Here the words Anagnir aniketana are very significant. Sannyasi should be completely detached from fire and any residential quarters. A grihastha has a relationship with fire, either for offering sacrifices or for cooking. But a sannyasi is freed from these two responsibilities. He does not have to cook or offer fire for sacrifice because he is always engaged in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, he has already accomplished all ritualistic performance of religion. Aniketana means without lodging. He should not have his own house, but should depend completely on the Supreme Lord for his food and lodging, and he should travel. And Mauna means silence. Unless one becomes silent, he cannot think completely about the pastimes and activities of the Lord. It's not that because one is a fool and cannot speak nicely, therefore takes the vow of Mauna. Rather, one becomes silent so that people will not disturb him. It is said by Chanakya Pandit that rascal appears very intelligent as long as he does not speak. But speaking is the test. The so-called silence of a silent impersonalist Swami indicates that he has nothing to say. He simply wants to beg. But the silence adopted by Kardamuni was not like that. He became silent for relief from nonsensical talk. One is called a Muni when he remains grave and does not talk nonsense. Maharaj Amrish set a good example. Mauna necessitates refraining from nonsensical talking and engaging the talking facility in the pastimes of the Lord. In that way, one can chant and hear about the Lord in order to perfect his life. Vratam means that one should take a vow, as explained by Bhagavad Gita, Amanatvam, Adambitvam, without hankering for personal respect and without being proud of one's material position. Ahimsa means non-violent. Okay. Okay?
Krishna Prabhuji. Here it is said that sannyasi should be away from fire also. He should not do the cooking. But sometime when you will go for baking, people will not give you ready-made roti. They will give you atta or some. Then they will give you some sabji, loki, something. But they will not give you cooked food. So sannyasi has to cook by himself. Only like Rup Goswami, and they also cooked kheer pastime we have. So they also only used to cook. So sannyasi has to have a relationship with fire.
Prabhupada also was cooking.
Yes, Prabhupada
cooked and served all the hippies in the initial days. Of course, later on also he was cooking. He was teaching Bhakti Charu Maharaj how to cook.
Yes.
So, of course, there is one verse in Bhagavad Gita, somewhere I'm forgetting.
Na niragnir, na chakriya.
No, that is one thing. Na niragni na chakriya. Yes, there of course, there the Agni, as Prabhupada writes in the purport, that refers to Agnihotra sacrifices. So Agnihotra sacrifices are meant for grihasthas basically, not for sannyasis. But at another place, Prabhupada talks about this cooking for a sannyasi. So in that place, actually, Prabhupada says, I think so it comes in this, in the 18th chapter, there's this verse which says that one should not give up three things. What? Yes, yajna dana tapa. So I think so somewhere there Prabhupada is writing that the sannyasi has to cook for offering to Krishna. So I suppose the meaning of this is not cooking for one's own sense gratification. I think so that's the context in which this cooking is being said over here. Not cooking for one's own sense gratification. So basically one cooks for the Supreme Lord and then one can accept prasadam. So that's the context. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hi. What? Ideal. Okay. So now what, so next few verses are describing how Kardamuni spent the rest of his life. Mano Brahmani Yunjano Yattat Sad Asata Param Guna Vabhase Viguna Eka Bhaktyanu Bhavite.
His mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for a Brahman, who is beyond cause and effect, who manifests the three modes of material nature, who is beyond those three modes, and who is pursued only through unfailing devotional service.
Yes, Eka Bhaktyanu Bhavite. So Prabhupada says that, yes, this indicates that he fixed his mind on the personal feature of the Lord, because bhakti cannot be executed unless one has realization of the personal feature of the absolute truth. Gunavabhase, beyond the three modes of material nature. Okay, fine. So in this way, Kardamuni left home, he went to the forest, and he fixed his mind on the Supreme Lord. 44. Nirahankritir nirmamascha nirdvandva samadhrik swadhrik pratyak prashant dhira prashantormir ivodhabdhi.
I continue.
Somebody else is there?
Yes, last Vadan.
Yes, ma'am.
Three.
Thus he gradually became unaffected by the false ego of material identity and became free from material affection, undisturbed, equal to everyone, and without duality. He could indeed see himself also. His mind was turned inward and was perfectly calm, like an ocean unagitated by waves.
So in this way, he became unaffected by the false ego and mamata, nirahankrita, nirmama. Okay, so no ahankar, no mamata, I and mine, nirdvandva, no duality, samadrik. Samadrik means seeing equality, seeing everyone equally, because you realize that there is spirit soul. Swadrik, seeing himself, self-realization. Prashanta, completely shanta, dhira. So these were the qualities that he achieved by fully focusing on Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada writes, when one's mind is in full Krishna consciousness and one fully engages in rendering devotional service to the Lord, he becomes just like an ocean unagitated by waves. This very example is cited in Bhagavad Gita. Which verse? One should become like the ocean.
It's in second chapter, I guess.
Yes, second chapter, 71st verse, I suppose, right? 70. So many desires may flow, but still he remains unagitated. What's the verse? Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudram apa pravishanti yadva tadvat kama
Pravishanti sarve. Na shanti
prashanti
mapnoti
mapnoti na kama kami. Yes. So that is the verse Prabhupada is referring to. So many desires may come, but still he remains unagitated. Desires may come, but he doesn't act on those desires. So Prabhupada writes here, the laws of nature may work. See here, Prabhupada is writing. The laws of nature may work, but if one is fixed in devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is not agitated, for his introspective. So as long as one is in the material world, the laws of nature work, because three modes are everywhere, right? Material world, material body means three modes. So three modes may act. Rajogun, Tamogun may act. But because the devotee is introspective, he is meditating on his duties, so then he does not act on those desires. He is not agitated. He does not look outside to material nature, but he looks in to the spiritual nature of his existence. With a sober mind, he simply engages in the service of the Lord. Thus, he realizes his own self without false identification with matter and without affection for material possessions. Such a great devotee is never in trouble with others because he sees everyone from the platform of spiritual understanding. He sees himself and others in the right perspective. 45. Vasudeve Bhagavati Sarvagye Pratyagatmani Parena Bhakti Bhavena Labdhatma Mukta Bandhanaha.
He thus became liberated from the conditioned life and became self-situated in transcendental devotional service to the personality of Godhead Vasudev, the omniscient super soul within everyone.
So in this way, he came to the liberated platform, liberated from conditioned life, and parena bhakti bhavena labdatma. When one engages in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, one becomes aware that his constitutional position as an individual soul is to be eternally a servitor of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. So one comes to that realization. Self-realization does not mean that because Supreme Soul and individual soul are both souls, they're equal in every respect. The individual soul is prone to be conditioned. Supreme Soul is never conditioned. When the conditioned soul realizes that he is subordinate to the Supreme Soul, his position is called Labdhatma, self-realization, or Mukta Bandhana, freedom from material contamination. Next paragraph, the word parena is very significant. Para means transcendental, untinged by material contamination. Full consciousness that one is an eternal servant of the Lord is called para bhakti. Vidha bhakti. Sarvagye, super soul sitting within the heart, is all cognizance. So further down it says, one should not think that he is freed from reaction because he has forgotten the actions of his past life. Reactions will take place, and what kind of reactions there will be is judged by the super soul, the witness. So super soul is always there, sarvagya. Okay, 46. Atmanam sarvabhuteshu bhagavantam avasthitam apashyat sarvabhutani bhagavatyapi chatmani.
We begin to see that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is seated in everyone's heart and that everyone is existing on him because he is the super soul of everyone.
Right, so he could actually see the Supreme Lord in everyone's heart. Prabhupada says that everyone is existing on the Supreme Personality of God does not mean that everyone is also Godhead. So everyone doesn't become the Supreme Lord. Then he talks about three kinds of devotees: neophyte devotee, intermediate devotee, advanced devotee. Prabhupada is briefly telling about that. Okay, so let's read Vishwanath Thakur's commentary to this verse. So he says, he saw the Lord directly. This state is described. He saw the Antaryami of all, Shirodakshai, the third Purusha situated in all beings. This was Bhagavan, the four-armed Lord, Shukla, the deity of his worship. He saw all beings situated in universes emerging from Mahavishnu's hair pores within the Antaryami of Prakriti, Karunadakshai, the first Purusha, by eyes produced through yoga. Okay, so basically he saw all this. Shirodaksha Vishnu, Karandaksha Vishnu. So basically saw. Okay, and the last verse. Ichchadvesha vihinena sarvatra samachetasa bhagavad bhakti yuktena prapta bhagavati gati.
Freed from all hatred and desire, Kardam Muni, being equal to everyone, because of discharging uncontaminated devotional service, ultimately attained the path back to Godhead.
So in this way, Kardam Muni perfected his life and he went back to Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, only by devotional service can one understand the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord, and after understanding him perfectly in his transcendental position, enter into the kingdom of God. The process of entering into the kingdom of God is Tripada Bhuti Gati, or the path back home, back to Godhead, by which one can attain the ultimate goal of life. Kardam Muni, by his perfect devotion, knowledge, and service, achieved this ultimate goal, which is known as Bhagavati Gati. Thus, in the Bhagavad purports of the third canto, 24th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Renunciation of Kardam Muni. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any questions?
Prabhuji, this purport you read about woman not taking sannyas. So it's clearly mentioned here, but are there anywhere else also Prabhupada mentioned? Because some devotees are strongly supporting that they can be given. So
What?
there
Who's
might be some
supporting?
other purports. devotees are fighting na, in GVs. Many devotees are supporting.
What?
Men should take sannyas. In
I think so.
ISKCON.
I think so. You're mistaking the Diksha Guru thing.
Okay. Okay, they are not for sannyas, but for Diksha Guru.
Oh, no, not sannyas, Baba.
Okay,
That is
okay.
Diksha Guru.
Okay, Prabhuji, then it's
Sannyas
sorry.
is never recommended.
Okay, sorry for that.
Prabhuji, regarding this, although this but other spiritual organization, and there's many sannyasi leading this gurus, ladies well recognized in the society. So they are not considered a fraud, but how means this is accepted in a Vedic culture means how they are accepted if it is not recommended.
Who's accepted?
The sannyasi matajis are there in I mean not in ISKCON, but outside when the gathering comes. So there are sannyasi matajis who are well reputed
So this is
accepted
Kali
on.
Yuga, na? So this is Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, all nonsense things are done. Nonsensical people become most reputed. This is the symptom of Kali Yuga. All the jugnus, they become very bright because sun only is not there. There's no sun. So when there's no sun, moon, right? Moon. The jugnus come out at night. So sun is, if bright sun is there, then jugnus will have no business. But now the son of Krishna is not there, then all these people become prominent. So you never find this in Vedic culture. This is all nonsense Kali Yuga things, all concocted religion. Eight of dharma. This is all concocted things.
Also, Prabhuji, this we hear about Haridas Thakur gave that Hira, Lakshya Hira, that you give up all your money and just do bhajan and give everything. Like means, although it may not be like a saffron or something, but kind of a dedicated full-time.
That is okay. That is okay. Full-time performing devotional service, but there's no official sannyas.
So that is allowed, na, Prabhuji? Means
oh, that is okay. That anyone can do full-time devotional service. Man
because
or
purpose of sannyas is only that one is fully dedicated to service of Lord. Only dress may be there and dress may not be there. In other case,
official sannyas cannot be given. See, even the lady could be having the same mood of the sannyas. Or sometimes the ladies could be more spiritually advanced than sannyasis also. That is possible. Yamuna Mataji, Prabhupada himself said she's on the stage of Bhava. But she never took sannyas. So, spiritual advancement, that is possible for everyone. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, na? What? Striyo Vaishya Sada Shudra Stepi Yanti Param Gatim. So, spiritual advancement is meant for any living entity or any human being. That anyone can do. But official sannyas is not possible for women. Because ideally sannyasis, they are supposed to be alone, travel. That is business. We read, no? Sannyasi, not more than 3 days in one place. So sannyasi is meant to travel. Women cannot travel.
Also, what about this brahmacharinis?
Brahmacharinis, Prabhupada said, he introduced in the Western countries only. Prabhupada himself says very clearly, it's not meant for India. In the Western world, Srila Prabhupada introduced because these people were on the street. So they already had given up their family, their parents, everything they've given, they're on the street. So Prabhupada gave them shelter, where they're going to go. So therefore, Prabhupada introduced this in the Western countries.
So means that is allowed that a girl can stay without marriage in the ashram like a brahmachari?
No, that's only initially Prabhupada allowed. Of course, Prabhupada said it very clearly that all women are supposed to get married. That point was very clear. So, but before marriage, they had no other place to stay, na? So then before marriage, they have to perform their devotional service, some place has to be there for them. So therefore Prabhupada created that brahmacharya ashram.
Which I heard that in many Western countries, Matajis are like living like a brahmachari only, brahmachari full time, without marriage and all also.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Western world, marriages are very difficult. So maybe some are staying. Of course, if a spiritual master allows, then it's fine. Okay.
Yes.
There was one atheist Kapila also, which Prabhupada mentions in his lecture. So what is his background? And here also wanted to know that...
I don't know. I don't know much about this atheist Kapila. Prabhupada does mention something in his purports, but there's not much.
And this Sankhya philosophy, Prabhuji, what is basically what it does actually?
So that is going to come now. That's going to come in from the next chapter, right? Yes, from the next chapter, teachings of Lord Kapila will start. So that is Sankhya philosophy. So you'll understand very soon all those teachings.
Guruji, why it is difficult to see the Lord in the heart of others and also means in one's own heart? That Lord is sitting.
Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai. Can't see now with materially contaminated mind and sense is not possible to see. What is required to see? What is required? Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Prema is required. Then without prema, how one can see?
So it's a bhakti. Ashtanga Yogi finally he achieves that realization. Bhakta also achieves.
Yes, but both are bona fide process. But the Ashtanga Yogi also, he is coming to the level of a bhakta. Ultimately, by the process of Ashtanga Yoga also he gets purified. No? He gets purified, and then when he gets purified, then love develops. So then he is able to perceive the Lord within us.
At the stage of love, we can also pursue like that.
Yes. It is possible, but we have to patiently wait. All right. Any other questions online? Okay, fine. So thank you all very much for kindly allowing me to render some service and also give an opportunity to read the Bhagavatam myself. That's the best benefit I get. So I get an opportunity to study the Bhagavatam, read Srila Prabhupada's purports, some Acharya's commentaries, and whether others sleep or are awake, at least I have to be awake. So therefore, maximum benefit I only get. So thank you all, because it's a wonderful opportunity to study Bhagavatam in association of devotees. Otherwise, studying alone is very difficult. So in association of devotees, then it becomes easy, more lively, some discussion takes place. So that's what is desired, Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhyanta. So thank you all for giving me this opportunity to do this service and study the Bhagavatam and have some nice discussions. So looking forward to your association again next time. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthiraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samved Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Let us thank His Grace Vadan Prabhu for taking out valuable time. Prabhuji discussed so many wonderful incidences from the life of Prabhupada. and so much nice realizations right from the balam rice on on the first day we discussed. Then we moved through the culture, importance of culture, and then finally about this gratitude, how one should be grateful, and the magic in the ISKCON. So let us express our heartfelt gratitude to Prabhuji by 3 times, one time loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you Guruji, also for these wonderful exercises in which you made us to think so deeply about although common topics, but these discussions were very, very helpful. And discussions not only became theoretical, we could practically assimilate them and relate and try to think how we can apply also. So that was very unique thing in your presentation. And especially so many pastimes of Prabhupada. That's the special flavor of your presentation, which I like very much. Actually, I had requested Puji almost last time, and he had agreed in Rath Yatra, but somehow we could not fix. But then Puji told we have time. I immediately then booked the slot, and Puji very kindly came. Although for our humble and small batch, he agreed. And actually, we are getting benefited by his association of reading Bhagavatam. Although Puji is already reading. Rasham Guru was telling that in the beginning only that his sadhana is impeccable, always full marks.
Thank you for coming online. So, in spite of your health problem, you came online. So, thank you. Online.
Unfortunately.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. And thank you, Naresh Prabhu, right?
Narrate.
Yes.
Naresh. Coming all the way from Nagpur to Pune, at least for 3 days you came, right? So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Prabhuji, accepting me for.
Hare Krishna. So please
Hare
continue.
Krishna.
Continue the course. Don't jump off the train in between.
Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
There's Vamshi Vadan Prabhu ki.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai, jai, jai. So you online what? हरि बोल, मेरे नाम का आप ले लो। कृपा कृपा।